Hey everyone, Mah-Dry-Bread here. Skyrim While Always Crouching was a slow, but real fun run. Let's follow that up with one of my all-time most requested runs. Today's the day that we figure out would I be able to beat Pokemon Gold with a team of only one Ditto. What do I even say about Ditto? Alright, I'm just gonna assume you don't know the gimmick of this Pokemon. Well, you can see from the stats that they are very even and low, but really these stats don't matter much outside of our health. That's because of our moveset. It's the move Transform. That's it. No TM moves or anything else. Every fight starts with me using Transform to copy the stats and moves of the Pokemon that I'm fighting. That also means that every single fight, they get to hit me first, since I spend my first turn transforming. That also means that anytime I fight a trainer, I have to do the entire battle with whatever the first Pokemon was on their team, but with only 5 power points on each move. If that instantly sounds like it would make a ton of fights literally impossible, well, I'm pretty sure that you're right. Like always, I'm writing this script as I go through with the challenge, so this part is being written before I've started. Everyone comment down below and guess if I can win or not. I'll just say right now that I think I'm probably gonna lose. This might be possible, but I also don't know if I'm gonna be able to figure it out. Every battle is a whole new problem. I think if I win in the end, it'll be with struggle. Let's explain the rules. In combat, I can only use Ditto. I'll need other Pokemon to use HMs, but I won't be allowed to use any of those Pokemon in battle. No glitches or exploits, no items in battle, only Pokeballs, held items, and items outside of combat are allowed. Also, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more. Let's do this. So, right off the bat, I use the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to replace Cyndaquil with Ditto so that we can do the whole run with it. I name him Sandow, the real ones know. He's still awesome, by the way. Go look him up. Okay, so I've never bothered really looking at DVs before, but I think for this run I'm gonna have to. DVs are what Gen 1 and 2 used instead of IVs. Okay, well technically both of them still use IVs. IVs are just individual values, and both sets of games just look at different sets of individual values to come up with your stat potential, but that's way overly complicated and does not matter right now. All you need to know is that the Pokemon community generally refers to IVs of Gen 1 and Gen 2 as DVs as a result of them working very differently. Anyway, I ended up basically re-rolling our Ditto a bunch of times for more health, since health is the only stat that we retain when we transform. I really want to make sure that I have as much of it as possible. Here's what I ended up settling with, just because 21 is the most health I ever ended up with, and I tried like 20 Dittos. So right away, travel is a nightmare. Sometimes we just straight up lose a one-on-one fight with a Pokemon a level lower than us, in like a grassy field. We pretty much always just let them hit us right away since we're busy transforming, so they get their first hit in on us. Now, we still deal more damage than they do by just a little bit if we're a higher level than them. It's kind of weird, and I don't know how all of the math behind it works, but I do know that your level compared to their level does play some kind of role in the damage that you deal, even if your attack is the same. So even if your attack is the same, it'll deal a little bit more damage if I'm a higher level. Other than that, they just look like they're dealing less to us because we have way more health than they do. It won't stay that way forever though, not unless I stay way ahead of them and level the whole game. And you know what, if there's any run where we have to do that, it's probably gonna be the solo Ditto run. So here's the plan. I'm here in the Ruins of Elf, grinding. I feel like I did this forever ago in some really hard run, but I don't really remember what one it was anymore. So this is a great early game grinding spot for super hard runs like this one. Not because Unknown really give great experience or anything, but because of how stat experience works. Stat experience is the Gen 1 and 2 version of effort values, and much like DVs, it's all super complicated. What you need to know is that stat experience works like effort values, but each stat has its own individual cap that isn't affected by the others. So you could max all of them out if you're really persistent. A Pokemon who maxes out their stat experience will have more stats by the end of the game than ones who didn't. Now, to actually max out our stat experience in the Ruins of Alph without vitamins, it would take something absurd like 1,400 battles. I don't think that is going to be necessary, since we're going to be fighting a lot of other stuff and leveling up plenty through that. My main worry is that the answer to winning a lot of the hardest battles is just gonna be to level up so that we have more health, or so that we can do more damage with struggle. Grinding is a nightmare in almost any area of the game when you're using a Ditto, so just using rare candies would save a lot of time, but the problem is that rare candies just give you the experience points, not the stat experience. So basically, you can use rare candies as much as you want in place of grinding and still have your maximum potential stats, as long as you've actually made enough Pokemon faint to max out your stat experience. So that's where the unknown come in. They hardly give you any experience, they're weak, so they pose no real threat, and you can very easily spend an afternoon making hundreds of them faint to get stat experience with no risk of actually maxing out your level before you're ready. I'll tell you right now, I am not maxing out my stat experience right now. It would be pointless, since I'm still going to be fighting tons of trainers. And also, it would take a week? Probably a week. Yeah. I decided I'd grind here until I beat the flying gym, but that I might have to come back later to grind more whenever our level lead is enough that we can one-shot them, if we ever get to that point. You know, since we lower to their stats when we transform, and I can't just use struggle forever, you can't always afford medicine. Maybe later on when healing items are more affordable, I could get away with grinding with just struggle, at least for a little while. As for how it actually is to grind here with a Ditto though, well, you've looked at the screen, it's a nightmare. Sometimes they run away, sometimes we run into one that's super effective against us, sometimes we only make one faint by the time we have to walk all the way back to the Poke Center. I'm using speed up, by the way. I'd be crazy not to at this rate. I'm just not using speed up in the footage because I think it looks a lot nicer if I record it at regular speed and speed up the footage in editing. But yeah, a faster nightmare is still a nightmare. Nothing can make this grind not suck. Okay, so we're level 15 and I finally got to the Flying Gym Leader. Here's a great example of what a Ditto run looks like. We turn into his first Pokemon, don't have enough power points to beat his whole team, and thus cannot win. So then I have to go find 10 wild Pokemon to use Transform on so that we can run out of power points, taking hits all along the way, heal up with items that we really can't afford yet, and try the gym fight with Struggle, and it goes pretty well. We pretty much bulldozed him, dealing way more damage with Struggle than we ever did with Tackle. It's crazy just how much weaker Transform makes us. So we're back on the road. Now you get to see the dilemma. Transform makes us a lot weaker than if we weren't using it in most circumstances, but it's time-consuming to actually make ourselves run out of power points each time. Even trainer battles, while traveling, are often just a loss because of whatever their opening Pokemon was being bad against the rest of their team. Or, more often than not, we don't have enough power points. That means we black out and lose a lot of money that we really need for healing items, so that we don't need to use the Poke Center as much. Every time we use the Poke Center, we get the power points back, and then we have to go find Pokemon that we can safely waste power points on again. Everything is working against us in this run. I think the way I want to tackle this run is that I want to try some of the major fights with Transform just to assess how it's going to go, but that most of the time we're probably just going to end up with Struggle. If I try Transform and it goes literally nowhere and isn't worth talking about, I probably just won't bring it up. There's a lot I don't bring up in these runs because it is not worth talking about. I'm sure you would rather watch a half-an-hour video where I get to the point rather than an hour-and-a-half video where I tell you every minute detail, because whoa, man, there's a lot of pointless things I could be telling you right now. Anyway, Struggle will still probably be the winning move almost every major fight in this game, but I am kind of curious to see if Transform ever pays off for us. Amazingly enough, the hiker fight was an accidental combo of both strategies. We copied his first Geodude, it only had Tackle, so we naturally ran out. Then we beat his whole team with Struggle as a weak Geodude. That was a very weird fight. I didn't think struggling as their weakest Pokemon was going to be how we got the win, but Hiker Russell loves throwing in surprises. Okay, so after incredibly slowly clearing Slowpoke well, I took a shot at our rival. Obviously, we didn't stand a chance though. If we transform, then we become ghastly, and we always just lose all of our power points to spite and become just about useless. We always get paralyzed by lick, and once we use struggle, we take ghastly down, and then we lose to Zubat using bite since we're transformed into a ghastly. Look, I'm gonna tell you right now, I bet there's almost no major battle in this game that we're gonna win while transformed. Ditto is supposed to be a support Pokemon, never your main Pokemon. So here I am, grinding. I was gonna have the next bit be my first attempt at the bug gym, but I can't even beat the first member of the gym, since she opens with a Spinarak with poison stings, so like I can't just transform into another Spinarak and brute force it with 5 poison stings, that doesn't work. And I can't go into the forest to waste all of our transforms on Metapod safely because our rival is in the way. So I guess I could just run out of transforms somewhere else so that I could try the fight with struggle. But we'll take hits while doing it, and I have almost no money since I blacked out during random fights so much early in the run. Look, even if I could magically get to Bugsy with struggle right now, I have no doubt that I would lose. So I think that grinding now until we can struggle our way through the rival fight is the best step. Once we can do that, we get access to the forest, and that'll make it easier to waste our transforms to take attempts at the bug gym. Oh wait, I guess I could run out of transforms against Hoppip. It doesn't have any damaging moves, I don't think, and they're in the route nearby. You know what? I'm gonna do that and give the rival fight another try. Now, while I grind, and you watch how awful this is, I think we need to talk about rare candy. Okay, so we went over stat experience a bit earlier, right? So unlike effort values, they don't max out really quickly. In a solo run like this, I don't think it's possible to not max out your effort values reasonably early in the run. Within the first half for sure, but sometimes I max out my effort values by like gyms 2 or 3, just because the grind for gym 1 was so long. In this run though, this is Gen 2. We're hardly making anything faint, and this is a stat experience game, so you need to make way more Pokemon faint to max yourself out. Now considering that, by the time I'm doing this grind, I already know absolutely for sure that this video is already going to be a week late. I think I'm gonna have to just hack in rare candies or this video is never going to get done. Especially with Canadian Thanksgiving coming up, I kinda have plans there. Here's the problem. That will make the run faster, but it'll also make the run harder. That doesn't sound like it makes sense, but I will explain. See, in Gen 3 and onwards, this would not be an issue, because I'll for sure max out my effort values. But in this run, I genuinely might not max out our stat experience. I might come quite short of our stat experience limit, in fact. That means that although rare candy will get us past roadblocks way faster, there's a chance that when we hit the end of the game at level 100, we won't have good enough stats to win. Now, first of all, even if I did get my stat experience pretty high, I still might just not win. I understand that not every Ditto is gonna have good enough stats to beat Lance at the end of this. This is a really bad Pokemon. But it's also possible that our Ditto does have enough potential and could get there if it could get enough stat experience. Now, I fully accept if that happens, not having good enough stats at the end to win, because I'd rather lose a run that took 2 entire weeks to play than win a run that took 6 weeks to play. Because, you know, I kinda wanna make these videos for you guys and not spend over a month just trying to get one video out. Like, I do these challenges because they're fun, and there's nothing fun about you guys not getting a video until it's super, super late, and then me constantly being up to my neck in work. I already took no days off last week to get my work done, and still feel massively behind. Mostly because of this Ditto run being so brutal, and I'm not even past the second gym. So I'm not gonna use any rare candy yet. I still really want that stat experience, and I'm willing to spend extra time early in the run to get it, but probably from level like 35 onward, I'm gonna use rare candy if I hit a brick wall. We'll see if that works out in the long run. Cross your fingers for me. So here I am at level 21 using struggle against our rival. Now this was basically a perfect fight, other than us getting crit once, but we still lose. Yeah, the crit didn't do us any favors, but I think we'd still have lost without that anyway, so it doesn't matter. We were one hit away from getting a win, so I figure a couple more levels will do the trick. First try at the bug gym. This one's gonna blow your mind because I knew it blew mine. So we're obviously gonna use struggle since it's not like we're gonna win as a Metapod, but we lost a good third of our health taking out Metapod and Kakuna. I figured we were doomed as Scyther built Fairy Cutter, but we crit with struggle twice, letting us win with hardly any health remaining. I can't believe we got a first try on a gym and a struggle run. Well, that lands us at level 23, and as expected, the rival fight goes perfectly fine now that we have a bit more health and attack. I feel like I've been stuck here forever. I'm just happy we're making progress. So next up, we have the normal gym and the ghost gym. Now, I kind of think that the ghost gym might be easy since struggle is physical and his team doesn't really have good defense. But if we get hit by Curse, then it's gotta be over. I'm actually more worried about the normal gym though. Clefairy is easy, but how am I gonna beat Miltank? It's for sure just gonna out-heal us with Milk Drink. Maybe we have to get lucky and take it out during its rollout, if it even ends up using rollout, that is. I could see having to grind a lot before we're ready for this one. First try at the normal gym with struggle, and it doesn't really go great. Yeah, we take out Clefairy with decent health left, but of course Miltank is a nightmare. Our first hit didn't do much damage, and that was a crit. I don't think I'm close to winning this fight at all. We might need to seriously level up. 4 levels later, and even after a bunch of tries, we never managed to get Miltank below half of its health. Alright, start making your guesses on what level we're gonna need to be before this thing goes down. It kinda looks like it's close, but she's also got Milk Drink, so I bet it's gonna take longer. Maybe level 35? Next try, level 30. Well, we lucked out on this one, that's for sure. Rollout missed at the perfect point in time, where her health was still high enough that she didn't use Milk Drink. Because of that, she locked herself into another rollout, and we had just a little bit of health left. We were able to finish the fight. That went pretty well, actually. So this is what travel looks like at this point. We finally have enough money to buy healing items reliably, so I avoid Pokecenters as much as I can. Travel is so much faster when we can use struggle, even with an extra and super slow text box every single round of the fight. Pretty much all Transform does at this point is make us weaker. Struggle helps us a ton in trainer fights too, since no matter what level you are, transforming into the wrong thing in a trainer fight will doom you. Hey, I've got high hopes for the Ghost Gym though. I have a good feeling about it, and I hope I'm not wildly wrong. Hey, well, we're traveling there though. It's a great time to talk about this video's sponsor, Chimera. The fall sale's going up right now, so it's a great time to pick up some stuff to get you prepared. It's starting to get a little bit chilly up here at night in Ontario, Canada, so I'm gonna recommend these joggers. I'm literally wearing them right now as I write the script. They're both the ultimate around-the-house comfy pants, and also they keep you nice and warm outside without looking weird. Plus, real deep pockets. I'm a big fan of deep pockets. But if you're in a colder country or just want to get ready for winter early, then pick up one of these puffer jackets. Honestly, best winter jacket I've ever had. It insulates you great without being bulky, amazing for when you gotta shovel the snow. In fact, it's so warm that I often have to unzip it while shoveling snow so that I don't overheat. You know, what with the exertion and all. If you're generating heat in this thing, then it's gonna do an amazing job of keeping it in. So if you want to support the channel and look good while doing it, then hit up the link in the description to go to Chimera and pick up something comfortable to wear this fall. If you're going to pick something up, then make sure to use the promo code Mah-Dry-Bread at checkout for 10% off your order and to let them know that I sent you. Now let's go lose to a ghost gym. Okay, so the first try at the ghost gym did not go great. I guess I got pretty lucky with Hypnosis missing a lot, but we got hit by Curse early on and it really messed us up. I'm not worried though. Did you see how much damage we did to Gengar? A few levels and I bet we could beat this in under 10 tries. Okay, 3 levels later and we have this hilarious run, where they not only never attempted Curse, but they just whiff with Hypnosis a million times. I guess in fairness, they don't have many options for moves. We're normal types so they can't use Shadow Ball. Hey, I'm just happy the fight wasn't too bad. So we're back on the road and we have some real tough fights coming up. We've got 3 gyms. The Fighting Gym, the Steel Gym, and the Ice Gym. Well, we're normal types, so the Fighting Gym is probably gonna go awful, and the Steel Gym is bad enough on a good day, but on a Ditto run, I think it could be Mareep levels of rough. The Ice Gym, though, I'm not really too worried. Yeah, it's the 7th gym, but his team kinda sucks. Now, in the fighting gym, I could always just get lucky. They miss a lot. But in the steel gym, it's gonna be brute force. I could see us not winning that fight until we're like level 50. Steelix has the highest defense in the game after all. I decided I'd do Rocket Hideout in the Lighthouse ahead of time for more experience, and also so that I could go do the Ice Gym instead of the harder ones. I'm sure you've noticed in the footage, but yeah, we're still using Struggle. If you thought Transform didn't work for the travel before, it really doesn't work in the Rocket Hideout. What are we supposed to transform into, Coughing or Zubat? Using Struggle is probably going to work better than transforming into a Coughing to do 1 damage Smog duels. Now there's actually a trainer down here who's on his own Ditto solo run, and he's a required fight. If you go in here without Struggle, then you transform into each other forever. I know that a lot of trainer fights in this game are probably nearly impossible with Transform, but they're still mostly technically possible if you crit every move, they missed every move. It would never happen, but on paper it's possible. The Rocket Hideout, on the other hand, no, there's no such thing as a critical transform, and every time you transform, you just get 5 power points back. Literally unwinnable in a solo Ditto run unless you use Struggle. The funny thing is, in the room before the Ditto trainer, Lance automatically heals your team, including your power points. So if you don't bother to leave, run out of power points, and come back, you fall into the Ditto trap. And then you gotta just turn the game off and on and hope you saved recently. Okay, well with that place done, I go straight after the Ice Gym. Yeah, I got zero confidence in how these gyms are gonna go anymore. Seal goes fine, but we hardly hurt Dugong despite a pretty big level lead. Maybe like 5 more levels in this fight goes decently, but how bad are the fighting in Steel gyms gonna go? Like if I did that little to Dugong, what am I gonna do to Steelix? Oh wow, level 48 and I'm still losing to the Ice Gym? Yeah, there was a crit, but we still couldn't have beaten Piloswine even if we took out Dugong. I'm really starting to second guess on what level I thought we could win most fights at. This Dugong isn't normally that much of an issue for us. If we do this little to Dugong, then there are a lot of other equally tanky Pokemon that I need to worry about, that I wasn't worrying about before. So I tried leveling up and doing the fight again once per level. I guess technically the first win was at level 53, but as we got the knockout, we got taken out by recoil damage. Well, I have HM Pokemon, so the game lets me win, but normally on a draw you lose, so I'm just gonna do the fight again. Level 54, and here I was thinking I'd probably win, but nah, I still just lose all the time due to Blizzard. It's brutal. We never have issues with the Ice Gym. This is such a rare problem. It's not even attack drops from Aurora Beam making us too weak. We are too weak from the start. Okay, level 58, and I still lose every time. Yeah, I got a draw at level 53, but ever since then, the best I've been able to get is more draws. This is kind of crazy. Okay, well, I need to level up like crazy for the Steel Gym and Fighting Gyms anyway, so let's just level up. Okay. An entire 10 levels from when we got our first tie, and we finally got our first win, mostly due to his own bad move choice. I guess the Fighting Gym is next? This one is gonna be awful. Oh, well, I was wrong to worry. I lost the first try at the Fighting Gym thanks to Dynamic Punch confusing us, but on the second try we beat him easy. That move only has 50% accuracy, so it doesn't take too many tries to get it to miss. So, the Steel Gym. Right away we're at level 65, because at level 63 we couldn't one-shot the Magnemites, and we'd just lose to getting paralyzed and thunderbolted a million times. Even then, this is rough. I kept trying the fight until Irontail missed a few times, but the real thing keeping us from winning is her Hyper Potions. I've got a few attempts that were kind of close, but we would need really good luck to win this. I tried a few more times at level 70, and although we kept losing, we had this run where we ended up landing a crit right at the end to get a knockout that we really needed. Level 70 is usually what we're at by the Elite Four, not the Steel Gym. Next up is Radio Tower. I was kind of worried about this place. I thought it would be annoying because we'd get poisoned a lot, but it wasn't that bad. Mostly because we're more than triple the level of a lot of the Pokemon that trainers are using here. It's incredible. The only real fight in this place is the rival battle, and I'm kind of thinking it's gonna go fine. Let's find out. Well, we had to get at least a little bit lucky, but this did end up being a first try. By the end, we were just above red health, so it's probably a sign that we're not ready for the next part of the run. All that's left is the Dragon Gym and another rival fight before we're at the Elite Four, but I have been dreading this Dragon Gym. I've beaten this game quite a few times now, you've watched it quite a few times now, and one of the single most annoying parts of any gold run is if we're not strong enough to one-shot the Dragonairs. And, you know, I'm sure we won't be. Yeah, Thunder Wave has a 25% chance to miss when the AI does it in Gen 2, but all three of them have it, so you're just never gonna get past them without getting paralyzed. And I don't see us winning like that. I guess wish me luck? So the Dragon Gym goes absolutely awful, and for the exact reason I thought, getting paralyzed. Thunder Wave actually missed, but Thunderbolt paralyzed us soon after. The problem is that we can't one-shot Dragonair like we do in the other runs. They don't hurt us very much, but they get a lot of hits in, so it does wear us down after a while. Plus, we end up taking a lot of recoil damage. That becomes a real problem. I'll get a Quick Claw so that maybe we can sometimes go first in spite of paralysis, and then I'll keep leveling up and trying the fight. As I level up more, I realize that this fight probably isn't going to be a win until we can one-shot the Dragonairs. And considering we're almost level 80 and aren't coming close, am I going to need to be near level 90 to beat the Dragon Gym? You know what, this is probably a stupid idea because it's going to lower our stats a ton, but maybe we have the health to get away with it. Can I win this fight by using Transform and using their Dragon Breath? Okay, so check this out. This is my best of 8 tries. Every single time we just end up getting paralyzed early, so I kind of want a berry to help us with that, but they get so many chances to paralyze us that I don't think it's actually going to help us. Plus, we need this Quick Claw. Our Transform gives us a speed tie with her Dragonairs, so it's random who attacks first. You know, until we get paralyzed, then we always attack second unless the Quick Claw kicks in. We do one-shot the Dragonairs with Dragon Breath though, and we could two-shot Kingdra, I just never got that far. I only got to Kingdra once doing this. I could see a win this way being possible, but I would have to get absurdly lucky. We would either need Quick Claw to activate a lot, or to just not get paralyzed and win a speed tie every single time. In fact, I'm not sure what requires more luck. Winning this with Transform or without Transform. I'm gonna keep leveling up a bit more and keep trying with Transform. Maybe more health will do the trick. Well, first try at level 85 and the Thunder Wave misses, and then we attack first 3 times in a row to take out all of her Dragonairs without getting hit. Kingdra was a lot scarier and took out half of our health in one Dragon Breath, but we hit twice and got the win. We actually won a major fight with Transform, and we only needed to be over double their level for it. Back on the road again, the only things left are the rival fight, the Elite Four, and then the champ. Well, I can already tell that without a doubt we're gonna need to be a max level, like, obviously. Also, I'm looking at the first Pokemon of the Elite Four and the champion, and Transform probably isn't gonna get us any easy wins. I mean, turning into a Water Onix against Lance would be real cool, but Lance also has Thunder, so that's a death sentence. I think we really are gonna have to try and beat the rest of the run just using a level 100 Ditto using Struggle and probably a Quick Claw. What a weird run. Let's go finish off our rival. Okay, so I'm sure this fight looks easy, but that's only because I'm cutting out 15 levels of me constantly hitting ourselves in confusion and getting paralyzed. Yeah, if we aren't level 100, then we can't one-shot Magneton, and that's assuming we even get that far. Once we're at level 100, it's a first try. Now that we're at the Elite Four, let's take a look at our stats. I mean, the stats are decent, but considering that we're only using Struggle, it's not as good as it looks. Plus, there's no way that we maxed out our stat experience, so this isn't as good as it could be. Is 265 gonna be enough health to survive the longer fights with recoil? I hope so. Make your final guesses on if we can win this or not. Let's do this. First is Psychic Trainer Will. So this is a first try, and although it started alright, I was quickly getting worried. We're taking a lot of damage just from all the recoil from Struggle. I was starting to worry about if we'd need crits to win this when we ended up surviving the whole fight with only 6 health left. I'll be honest, I'm second guessing how possible this is. Second is Poison Trainer Koga. Now, this one should have been easy, but we still found a way to almost lose it, when Muck used Minimize once, and it made us miss 3 times in a row. Thankfully, I had a Poison Cure Berry to stop Toxic, and he switched to using Sludge Bomb, so we just had to tank a few hits before we could finish him off. Overall, Koga was the easiest fight we've had in a while. Third is Fighting Trainer Bruno. This one took a good 3 tries because of Cross Chop taking us out, but it's a move that misses pretty often, and that's the only real dangerous part of the fight, so as soon as it missed, we had a close but sure victory. That went alright, but I think the next one will be worse. Fourth is Dark Trainer Karen. This one is a nightmare because literally every single attempt, Umbreon gets us with Sand Attack at the start, so we have a 25% chance to miss with Struggle. That leads to situations like this one, where we just miss 4 times in a row and keep getting hit. It's not like she's even fighting well. Her Gengar used Spite twice. It's a good thing she did, because in some tries she uses Curse, and that's a fight ender right there. It's just that we'd miss so much, it's unreal. We for sure have enough health and attack to win the fight, we just need better accuracy luck. In the end, it took an insane 24 tries, but eventually, through luck of hardly missing and not getting crit, we were able to win an incredibly narrow victory. We won every Elite Four battle with red health. How are we ever gonna beat Lance? Finally, the Pokemon Champion. First try was a disaster, with us beating Water Onix easily just to get halted by a Dragonite paralyzing us. Okay, well, I don't have any berries for that, so I just have to keep trying until Thunderwave misses. Considering there are 3 Dragonite, that might be a lot of Thunder Waves. Well, I missed 3 times in a row, and 4 times in a row, with a 25% chance to miss, and that was just during today's work. I need them to miss like 4 or 5 Thunder Waves to get past them, and then we can see if the rest of the run is winnable. Oh, that can't take too long, right? Okay. I need you to see this, and I need to explain every single detail of it. First Dragonite beats us on a billion attempts, but on this one we crit and it missed Thunder Wave, so we took it out early. The second Dragonite took us out 500,000 times. You know, whenever we'd survived the first one. It also got crit and missed Thunder Wave, so we got past it. We haven't been hit a single time yet, and this is all recoil damage, by the way. Next is Aerodactyl, who usually hits a Hyper Beam that dooms us if we get to him, which is rare, but this time we crit yet again to get a one-shot. I've never crit that Aerodactyl before, not in this run at least. After that is a Charizard whose Flamethrower dropped us to too low of health to win, the 3 other times that I have gotten to the Charizard. That's when we landed another critical hit to one-shot him. We only have 85 health left, and we still have not been hit in this fight. Last is the final Dragonite, and the only 3 times I've gotten this far before, I had red health and lost. That's when we landed another crit. He hits us with Outrage, we land one final struggle, and we both faint. You know how many tries this took? You couldn't possibly guess. You couldn't possibly guess. You can write it in the comments, but you won't get it right. You want to know what the answer was? 128. It took 128 runs, but even on one where I was an absolute crit machine and didn't take a single hit until the Dragonite at the end, we still didn't have enough health to make it. I think that even with perfect luck, our Ditto is just too weak to make it. If I had maxed out the set experience or gotten like perfect IVs, then I bet we could have just barely squeaked out a narrow win. But I'm not the right man for that job. This video is already a week late. Sorry about that. And that's how the story ended originally. But you're hearing the voice of Mah-Dry-Bread the next day now. The next day after the video went up. And, yeah, no, it was a lie. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna ad-lib all of this, because I don't know, I need to talk about it, and I'm very sorry that this video is gonna end on a somber note, but, I don't know, I've never seen a YouTuber deal with this way before, and I just feel like this is the right thing to do right now. Um, that fight did take 128 tries, but what I didn't tell you at the time was that I had started save stating between each individual one of the battles, and what I was counting was each try until I was able to progress to the next Pokemon. I only started doing that after I spent almost the entirety of a day on doing legitimate attempts at the battle, the same way that I showed you how I did it. I say attempts at the battle. You hold the A button, the turbo A button. It's a struggle thing. But after trying it over and over and over, I decided that, okay, I'll do that. And the reason why I decided that, I kind of wasn't thinking about it in terms of, like, lying to you. I was thinking about it in terms of, like, how do I word it without swearing? I was, I guess, being lazy at work. I was half-butting it. I don't want to swear. I know that some kids are watching this, and I want them to learn this lesson too. Look, when you tell a lie and it's eating you up, even if you know that there's going to be ramifications, like, it's been 24 hours and no one's caught that I've done it yet, but I feel really bad. Like, I didn't think about it at first. It didn't feel to me like I was lying to anyone. It felt to me like I was being lazy at work. Like, oh my God, it's already a week late and it's taking so long and I've put in all this time and all this effort and I'm just gonna... I put in the attempts. I put in the fight and everything. I just lied by omission on the one thing. And God, I didn't think about it at the time, but I look back on it now and, like, I read comments of people saying, like, wow, that was a really lucky fight. That was really cool. And, like, God, I just, that's kind of when it hit me, when I realized, like, oh no, like, people, there's people who take it really seriously. And, like, to me, the challenge videos are like a fun, goofy thing. And, like, I use, like, rare candies and I tell you that I use rare candies, and I use speed up and I tell you that I use speed up and stuff like that. And this is kind of like a goofy, fun thing. I'm not sending it to some kind of speedrun board or anything like that. And so I guess I don't take it super seriously, but in that moment, I kind of realized that wasn't the right thing to do. It wouldn't have mattered at all if I just lost. I've lost a bunch of challenges. I lose challenges all the time, but with the video coming out late and everything, I was just kind of afraid of disappointing people, and that was really stupid because when, like, sure, I get some comments that are like, oh my God, why didn't you try harder? I was getting comments on this video saying why didn't I keep trying? Why didn't I try harder? Like, it's like, man, you don't even know how crazy the odds are to get that, because it's the one time I didn't do it legit. Man, I'm sorry. I hate lying. I'm not really a big lying guy, and I get really upset when people lie to me, especially about really petty stuff. And this wasn't worth lying over, like, at all. There's no personal gain in it. My videos don't do better when I win or anything like that. I didn't get anything out of it. I just was, I was kind of afraid of disappointing you guys, and I realize now that I guess I've disappointed you a lot more by doing this. And if I shut up, then maybe people won't know that I did it, and maybe I can just, like, move on and never do it again, and, like, maybe that's okay. But, like, I don't know if I can just sit around knowing that I lied about something. I guess, like, it's still really minor because it's, like, Pokemon and whatever, but you guys put a lot of trust in me, and I just keep saying that I'm really sorry. I know that, like, some parents watch this with their kids, which is crazy to me, because I've never really thought of this as a kid's channel. But for those of you who do, and those kids watching, please don't be afraid to tell the truth, even if you think that you might get in trouble for it, because I do think I'm going to get in trouble for this. some people will stop watching and that will hurt me financially and everything, and I got a family to take care of, and I'm sure that just hearing that I did lie about this for a day, about exactly how I did those attempts, that's gonna disappoint some people. I'm really sorry. I'm not good at lying. I feel super uncomfortable with this whole thing, and I've just been pacing around my house for like the last couple hours. After it kind of sunk in what I did, I've just been pacing and pacing, and I take a deep breath and think, okay, it's not that big of a deal and everything. Like, yeah, it's just Pokemon. But like, no, it's not about the Pokemon, man. It's that I lied to people, and I'm really sorry about that. And I know that if I don't talk about it, then it's totally possible that it'll never come up again, and it's totally possible it'll be fine, because I didn't see any comments about it or anything, but I don't want to be the kind of guy who just doesn't fess up just because I didn't get caught. Because if you don't want to be that person, you got to not do that stuff, you know? Because anytime you do it, even if you feel justified in doing it, you're practicing doing it. You're getting better at doing it. I don't want to get better at lying. So even if this is kind of a small lie and it hurts me financially to tell you that I lied, I lied. I'm really sorry about that. I didn't think about it as a lie at the time, but I look at it like the next day after I put that up and I realized like, no, that was like totally a lie. I totally lied to you. I'm really sorry. I feel a little better just saying it. And it's a little crazy to me to know that I'm gonna I guess I'm gonna re-edit the Ditto video and put this at the end. This is the ending of the video. Yeah, dude, you were just going through a playlist. Some guy in the future is going to be going through this playlist and just having a chill time watching their Pokemon challenges like they always do. And they come across this bit where MDB re-edits the video at the end just to call himself a liar. Yeah, man, I'm sorry. I made a really stupid mistake. I'll apologize when I'm wrong. I was totally wrong. That was the wrong thing to do. There was no benefit for anybody. I was just being stupid. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I guess that's going to be the end of this video. The old version, don't even worry about it. The outro ending was, what did I do? I think I just rambled about the weather or something, or like how busy I was that week. And I was really busy. Again, it's why I took that shortcut. A shortcut that, again, I didn't need to take. If I just failed miserably at Lance, no one would have been upset. No one's even upset now. They'll be upset because I'm opening my mouth. Doesn't matter, man. All right. Nah, no pity party. No pity party. I made my mistake. This is my bed. I will lay in my bed. You're getting another challenge next week because I've already recorded the Fire Red Barboach challenge, and I did it legit, just like I did every other one. Sorry, I'm laughing at myself for doing this. This was stupid, and it's honestly a little bit stupid that I'm so worked up over it. And it feels good to get it out there, even if it's not out there till I hit that upload button. I hope you understand in the comments. I'm really sorry, everybody. I'm not going to disappoint you like this again. Or if I do disappoint you like this again, then I hope I have the good sense to work on it and, you know, fess up and apologize again. It's not going to be like this, though. If I make a mistake, I'll make some other stupid mistake. I've learned from this. I'm sorry, guys. Until next time, have a nice day.